Hello students, now I will discuss a famous poem named When I Heard the Learned Astronomer. The poet is Walt Whitman. Walt Whitman Jr. was born on 31st May 1819 and died 26th March 1892. He was an American poet, an essayist, and at the same time he was a journalist. Leaves of Grass was the most famous works in his groundbreaking poetry collection. It was first published in 1855. He wrote many other poems. Among them, the famous poems are O Captain, My Captain, I Sing the Body Electric, When Lilacs Lust in Doriad Bloomed, and many others. He is recognized for pioneering free verse and celebrating American democracy. Walt Whitman's poetry style is defined by pioneering free verse, characterized by long flowing lines, rhythmic catalogues, and celebratory democratic tone. He was very popular poem of his time. This poem is a 8-line poems. This poem has 8 lines and written in free verse. It may be also called a short lyric. It may be called a short lyric because as the poem expresses the personal emotions and thoughts of a single speaker. It focuses on specific moment of realization, the shift from feeling tired and sick to feeling peace. It is a beautiful realization. Now I will narrate the poem in English and Bengali. The poem goes like this. When I heard the learned astronomer, যখন আমি শুনেছিলাম সেই সব বিজ্ঞ পণ্ডিত জ্যোতির্বিজ্ঞানীদের কথা বা ভাষণ. When the proofs and the figures were ranged in columns before me, যখন সমস্ত প্রমাণ এবং সংখ্যাগুলো আমার সামনে স্তম্ভের মতো সারিবদ্ধভাবে সাজানো হয়েছিল. When I was shown the charts and diagrams to add, divide and measure them, যখন আমাকে দেখানো হলো বিভিন্ন নকশার চিত্র সেগুলোকে যোগ করতে এবং ভাগ করতে এবং পরিমাপ করতে. When I sitting heard the astronomers, he lectured with much applause in the lecture room. আমি যখন বসেছিলাম তখন ওই যে লেকচার দেওয়ার যে রুম যেখানে আলোচনা হচ্ছিল সেখানে তুমুল হর্ষধ্বনি হচ্ছিল, তার প্রশংসা হচ্ছিল. How soon unaccountable I become tired and sick. কত দ্রুত অজানা কারণে আমি ক্লান্ত এবং অসুস্থ বোধ করেছিলাম. Till rising and gliding out I wondered of myself. যতক্ষণ না পর্যন্ত আমি উঠে দাঁড়ালাম এবং নিঃশব্দে বেরিয়ে একাকী উদ্দেশ্যহীনভাবে হাঁটতে শুরু করলাম. In the mystical most night air and from the time to time, রহস্যময় রাত্রির আকাশে এবং হাওয়ার মধ্যে from time to time, বারবার. এবং শেষ লাইনে বলছেন looked up in the perfect silence at the stars. এবং তিনি কি করলেন? বেরিয়ে গিয়ে নিঃশব্দে এই নিস্তব্ধ তারার দিকে তাকিয়ে থাকলেন. এটা হচ্ছে কবিতাটা লাইন বাই লাইন মানে. If we go deep we find Walt Whitman's poem When I Heard the Learned Astronomer. It was published in 1865. We find the speaker attends a scientific lecture about the stars, but unfortunately finds the technical explanation overwhelming and unaccountable. This is unfortunate, but unfortunately he found no interest in it. Instead of gaining insight from the chart and diagrams and columns, the speaker became tired and sick, ultimately leaving the room to experience the night sky directly. He made a relation directly with the universe and the stars. If we go through the theme, we find there is an experience and an analysis. Whitman contrasts a sterile mathematical knowledge of the lecture hall versus the intuitive wisdom of experiencing nature firsthand. He came out of the he came out of the lecture room and experienced the nature firsthand in his naked eyes. The poem reflects the idea that true understanding comes from the individual connection with the universe rather than institutional learning. Institutional learning or academic learnings or books, experiments, all these are very important, but the first-hand experience, the naked eye experience, is more important than those. And we also find the power of silence in this poem. While the first half is filled with noise and applause for the person who was describing and explaining the stars and the secret of the stars and the science of the stars, but the speaker finds perfect silence outside, suggesting that nature's beauty is beyond words. But you cannot fully describe the nature in words, in calculations, in charts, and in diagrams. In this poem, we find anaphora, a literary device. Literary devices are used to make the poem attractive. In this poem, the first 4 lines among the 8 lines, far forward, begins with when. This is just to mimic the monotonous, repetitive feelings of the technical lecture. The poet was just bored and felt uninteresting, and he came out of the room. In line 5, the poem shifts from the crowded indoor settings and he came outside. In line 5, in the mystical outside, in the mystical nature, which according to the poet cannot be described fully by any mathematical charts, diagrams, and calculations. The lines describing the lectures are physically longer and more wordy. More calculations, more charts, more diagrams, while the latter lines are shorter and more lyrical and mirroring the speaker's sense of relief. The poet felt a relief when he came outside of the lecture room. And in the first 4 lines, 1 to 4 lines, we find the tone is dry and intellectually exhausting. Whitman uses repetitions to create a tedious rhythm, reflecting the speaker, boredom, and emotional distance from the mechanical data. The poet was emotionally down. His emotion was not with that mechanical data, charts, and calculations. But in line 5, the tone becomes uncomfortably different, with the speakers feeling tired and speak. Illustration are purely academics and data-driven analyst of the nature, but poet did not enjoy this academic data-driven explanation and analysis of the nature and the stars. And at the end, in the 6 to 8 lines, the tone shifts entirely to one of the awe and tranquil wonder. The word like gliding and mystical and perfect silence create a calm, spiritual, and romantic atmosphere. It is romantic because poet loved it. Poet loved it like anything. And there are many other reasons why the poem is favorite for the readers, especially those who find themselves overwhelmed by the modern world of data and screens, especially for the people who enjoys the direct first-hand experience with the nature, with the universe, with the stars. The poem captures a universal human experience. Whitman offers a moment of escape. The transition from the structured, cramped columns of the numbers to the mystical, moist night air. Feels like a breath of fresh air for the readers. It is really a beautiful experience. It also celebrates the idea that your personal quiet reaction to beauty, your personal quiet reaction to beauty is just as as vast as the scientist's technical explanation. Both are important. Both complements each other, but the direct first-hand experience of the stars, of the universe, of the nature attracts the poet much. It feels like a modern monologue. It is called a monologue because a single person is narrating his experience of hearing or attending a lecture. If there is two persons, we would call it a dialogue. Mystic, moist night air suggests that nature has a secret or magic. Obviously, nature has a secret and magic that science cannot fully capture. Unfortunately, science failed to capture the secret and the mystery of the nature. In short, or in the conclusion, we can say the astronomers saw the stars. The astronomers saw the stars as an object to be measured, an object to be calculated, an object to be graphed, an object to collect data. But people like Whitman, poet like Whitman, and many other peoples saw the stars as a wonder to be witnessed, as a wonder to be witnessed. This is all about the poem. Thank you so much for watching till end. If this video helps you, please subscribe to the channel and share this video to a friend. Also, if you want any topics to be discussed, you may write it in the comment box. We will meet again in the next video. Stay safe.